Hey guys, Jen here. It is another week. It's what, week 6 now, I think, of this? One more week to go, and then we're back because Disney announced yesterday that Disney Springs will be reopening on May 20th. So only like another week to go before I get to go to Disney again. I don't even care if none of the stores are open. I don't even care if all you can do is just walk around. I just want to be back on Disney property. Oh, I'll wear a mask. I will stay 6 feet away from everybody else. I just need some Disney in my life. But this week's vlog starts off with some family fun time where Ryan needs some pictures in his riding gear. And then we switch over to a new cooking segment I'm going to call Ugly but Delicious. Delicious may be a bit of a stretch. How about we go with ugly but edible? That sounds better. Follow along. Look, we got Roxy and Jesse playing with Roxy. We got Lee doing like a professional photo shoot out here. Hey Roxy! Hey! Aren't you supposed to be taking pictures of the human, not the dog?
They're testing the ISO and all that.
Okay. He made Ryan move to the sun so he could get better pictures. And he's taking pictures of the dog. Oh wait, no. Are you taking pictures of me? This is how we vlog. So, we got the two directors over in the background. Tell them to look up, look down, look all around.
Stare off into the distance, thoughtfully.
Yeah. Because, you know, we can tell the expression on your face. So why is she doing all the work?
I'm not allowed to touch it.
Why are you not allowed to touch it?
Because I'm not production crew.
Okay. This is like a professional photo shoot. It's like giving them directions where to place his arm, how to hold it.
Hey, I'm the one that's gotten paid photography gigs before, not you.
I'm just enjoying the entertainment.
That looks unnatural.
I'm so glad I'm filming for all this. Okay, so give her a thumbs up like she did something good. I don't know.
Alright, let me turn my bike on for dramatic effect of smoke. Oh, and now I gotta adjust my pants.
This is my baby. Wow, it's vibrating literally the whole ground. That's crazy. And it's dead. Point! Point!
Point!
He's not doing the Disney point, and it's making me mad. 2 fingers! 2 fingers! So Ryan, who's lived here since we moved in and knows that plant is covered in razor sharp spikes, got off the bike on that side and stabbed himself with like 4 of them.
I want you to film my idea.
Okay.
Sexy man pose, you do it!
Oh my god. The way he jumped into it. I think you're too far away from the bike.
Please don't tell me it's gonna fall on me because I'm so scared.
You're good. It's stable, it ain't moving.
Oh god.
Oh look, it's dueling sexy man poses. Jesse's even kind of in the sexy man pose.
Monday.
So as the sun starts to set on this fun day we had with Ryan, I love his surprise visits. Lee's gonna try to help him pack up the bike. This should be fun. Come here, Rox. So babe, you ready to be a track dad? You look thrilled. He's not ready.
You can drink beer in there.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
All you have to do is say beer.
He got the motivation.
Right, you gotta turn it around. Go around the tree. Go around the tree.
Or
That would work. Yeah, just do like a circle around the tree.
Oh boy, this should be good. I feel like I should have the Benny Hill song playing in the background.
Right here. Now straight at me. See, like that. front end up. Bring the front end up. Literally just lift the front end up.
Oh God, he's gonna throw his back out. Oh no, this is gonna end badly.
There you go. You didn't have to lift it that high.
Language! This is a family vlog!
Sorry, guys.
Ryan asked where you should strap it, and Lee's answer was on the bike.
How do you strap it to keep the handlebars from catching the wind and going crazy?
Okay.
That was not. That was an actual question that required an answer.
Roxy's looking at Roxy, help me. Help me, my love.
No, they're here by my feet.
Take the black strap. Take the ratchet.
The black strap.
I'm doing all the work.
Yeah, you gotta
We're
learn.
teaching you.
You're gonna be a track dad.
You said you're in. All it took was
That
beer.
in, this in. Hook it somewhere up here. And it's gonna go down
Put
there.
under though. Put it under.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, this is
You said under.
Well, I meant like so
like hook from under.
Half hitch till you can't half hitch.
Yeah, he don't know how to do that.
Yeah, he does. There's no one.
He's got to learn how to ride a four-wheeler, how to ride bikes, how to drive the Razor.
I mean, well, we know how to drive a Razor.
Surface. Yeah.
The Razor's completely different than the Polaris.
Oh.
Perfect.
I mean, yes, they're both.
Ta-da! You did it! You did it! You did it! Yay! Oh wait, wait. He failed.
There's a little slack there,
Oh,
it's because
no.
it went around that.
but we'll put that back there. It's fine. It'll stay there.
All right, now you got to come jack it up.
You shut this?
Nope. There's that. See that bolt down there? On the license plate. Pull that out. See an open hole? Nope. Down.
Here, you need to angle the light better.
Oh, I see.
That right there. And then that wrench right there tightens it.
Where your elbow is. You can get it mostly by hand, but the rest is better.
This wrench?
Nope, we're actually on the tailgate.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, he points at that because this wrench?
That's not a wrench.
Well, everything else that's been sitting in the platform is how to use.
Bam, there you go.
Ta-da!
All right, I'm buying a dirt bike tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Get a 450, come ride with me.
What are you doing, babe?
I'm by the Roxy.
Oh, leave poor Roxy alone.
Roxy, come see me against you. No,
Roxy's like, can I just sleep, please?
she's ready to go home. I don't
Yeah.
want her to go home. She's a good girl.
They'll come visit again, don't worry. All right, now we got to make sure it doesn't fall off. Yay, it's not falling off. And they're off. I missed them already. Oh my Lord. And cut to a new day. Today I am making a big Sunday dinner of recipes for my new Disney cookbook. So I purchased off of Amazon the Ultimate Walt Disney World Cookbook by David Kennedy, and I'm loving some of the recipes. I'll never make a lot of them. I will. You can see I've already been like going to town picking things I want to try now, but I picked out one dinner's worth of meals, so it's like a side, a meal, and a dessert. But let me show you what I'm starting with now. So we're starting with the potato casserole from the Garden Grill, which is in the Land in Epcot, and it is just a side dish. It's a literal potato casserole. It has potatoes done two ways, so you'll see my potatoes split so that I don't mix up my measurements. So it's 2 pounds of diced tomatoes and then 2 pounds of shredded, did I say tomatoes? 2 pounds of diced potatoes and then 2 pounds of shredded potatoes. Then there's an onion, some cream, some cheese. I'll get into all that as we get down. But I already have my oven preheating to 325. I gotta get to chopping. update. I realized in my casserole dish I wasn't going to be able to mix the ingredients because it was too full. So you need 2 cups of onions. Here's one. And then this way I can actually mix the ingredients together like you're supposed to before we put it into bake. Alright, and diced onions, cup number 2. And I just flung onions all over the house again. I have a habit of doing that. Mix these all in. Alright. Okay, now we mix together all the ingredients, reserving 2 ounces of the 8-ounce container of the shredded cheddar. So I have my potatoes and onions in here already. We're going to add an entire quart of heavy cream. That's gonna be a lot. It's 8 egg yolks, but I'm just gonna whip them up real quick. This way it's no big chunks when I dump it in. Six ounces of Parmesan cheese. I only had grated, so that's what we're using. Doesn't specify what kind of Parmesan to use. It specifies shredded mild cheddar. So I don't know if this is the correct Parmesan I'm supposed to be using, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm using. So then we have these 6 ounces, because remember we reserved 2 ounces of the cheddar, of the shredded cheddar cheese. I used sharp cheddar because it's just got more of a stronger flavor and I like it. I love a good sharp cheddar cheese. This is interesting looking. It is 1 tablespoon of dried thyme. I never used thyme with potatoes before. I've only ever used it with, I'm weird, I put thyme in my tuna fish. It's really the only reason I even have it in the house is because I put a little bit in with my tuna fish. But it has, thyme has a very strong flavor, but this is a large enough dish that 1 tablespoon is not going to be overpowering. It's just going to be a nice light flavoring. And then it specifies 1.5 teaspoons of white pepper, which I don't even know what that is, so we're just going to sprinkle some black pepper in. And 2 tablespoons of salt. I had sprayed my pan before I started before. So now we pour all of this in, this delicious looking goodness. Now this says to only fill the container 3/4 of the way full, but this filled it to the top. So I think I'm gonna put a cookie sheet underneath because I feel like it's going to boil over. But then you top with the remaining cheddar. Now this recipe also calls for you to cover in parchment paper and tin foil, which I've never covered something in both before, and this is way too long. So I'm not entirely sure why they're requiring both. If you know, can you post in the comments below, because I don't know why it's requiring this. So now we're going to bake for 50 minutes at 325. All right, timer is done. The 50 minutes are up. So now, oh, it actually looks like it didn't boil over. Woohoo! We pull off. Oh, that is very watery. Oh my gosh, that just made a huge mess. Okay, so now I gotta bake it for 10 minutes. So for our meal, I am making the Rose and Crown Pub cottage pie. However, you need mashed potatoes. So instead of making plain mashed potatoes, I'm going to make cream cheese mashed potatoes from Le Cellier in Canada World Showcase. So these are just 2 pounds of potatoes, 1 stick of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, a cup of milk, some salt, and pepper to taste. And it's literally, you boil them and mix everything together. Okay, so I do butter to taste. So I'm just doing half of my potatoes, half of the cream cheese, literally just a splash of milk, because I think the cream cheese is going to make it really watery. The cream cheese is going to make it creamy. So I don't think it's going to need a lot of milk. And the recipe even says you don't need a whole cup of milk. And then we're just going to mix this together. Probably should have broken up the cream cheese a little more. Not one of my brightest moments. Alright, so here is the Le Cellier cream cheese mashed potatoes. They actually came out really good. However, they're a little lumpy, so I don't think I cooked the potatoes quite long enough. But again, my food isn't pretty, but it tastes good. Now, the potato casserole is taking forever to cook. I actually had to bump up the temperature because at 325 it was just not cooking. It was just staying liquid. Gotta say, it smells amazing, but it's finally starting to get a brown crispy top. However, it's been cooking for like an extra 30 minutes. Now I'm making the inside of the main course, which is the cottage pie. I had to melt a quarter, what was it? How much? A quarter cup of butter, which is like a ridiculous amount of butter. This is so much butter in here, guys. I like never cook with this much butter. But I just had it on low while I was waiting for that to melt. Once I get that a little bit hotter, I have it over medium heat now. Then I'm going to throw in the onions and get them cooking. So the onions are now starting to boil a little. I gotta cook them until lightly browned. And then once we do that, we add the meat in. The recipe calls for 2 pounds. However, the package I got was 3 pounds. So it's gonna be a little extra meat. I did not add extra onions. I kept it to just the 1 cup because I don't personally like onions anyway. And there's onions in the potato casserole as well. And then I will probably add a little bit extra of the seasoning and the gravy when I add that in. It's because it's going to be extra meat, so it's going to need extra sauce. Okay, just pulled my potato casserole out. Still looks very liquidy, but I still got a little while on the other, so I'm going to throw, I think, some tin foil over it because the air conditioner vent's right there, so things tend to cool off really quickly to hopefully keep this warm. But it also took like an extra hour almost to cook. Like, it took an insanely long time to cook this. Alright. This is nice and brown, although, my gosh, there is so much butter in this. It's ridiculous. I'm going to add the ground beef now. And normally I would just plop it in, but there's so much butter, I'm very afraid to do that. And again, this recipe does not say anything about draining the fat. But I couldn't find 80%. I could only find 73% lean ground beef. So I am 100% going to have to drain the fat out of this because it's just going to be way too much. So you're supposed to add the seasoning in when you put the meat in. However, I am waiting because I know I'm going to have to drain a lot of the fat out. And I don't want to lose all the savory seasoning. So I'm just waiting till I get like it mostly brown. This will probably be the last batch of fat grease I take out, and then I'll be able to add the salt, pepper, and savory. And can we just talk about how I did not know what savory was. I had to like Google it. And apparently it is just a mix, like a pre-mix of flavors. So I just bought the savory pot roast flavoring because I figured that's probably the closest mix of flavors to what the cottage pie kind of is. So I went with that one. So it says add salt and pepper to taste. However, I don't really like salt or pepper, so I don't really add it. And it does call for a 1/4 teaspoon of ground savory. But because I have extra meat, I'm doing a like 1/2 teaspoon, and I kind of did a heaping teaspoon. And I still feel like that's probably not going to be enough, because this is a lot of meat, and that was not a lot of flavor. I'm going to add another 1/2 teaspoon just because I feel like this is a lot of meat, and I'm doing like a heaping teaspoon. It's probably going to be way too much now, but it was definitely not enough before. Alright, now we're going to add in the gravy. The recipe calls for 1 cup. I did cheat because I am an inherently lazy cook, and I just bought canned gravy. So I just want to mix in the 1 cup. Again, I don't think this is going to be enough because I added extra meat. So I think I'm going to have to probably do the whole can of gravy. Yeah, it's like not even coating the meat completely. So there's about 1.5 cups-ish in the 1 can. I just used the Heinz Homestyle beef gravy. And I did choose the savory beef just to go with the savory flavoring. I know home cooked gravy is way better, but again, I ain't got time for that. Alright, I have heated it to a boiling, and now I just have to spoon this into my baking dish. And then I just place my mashed potatoes on top. It's going to be so good with these cream cheese mashed potatoes. So I've decided if I ever open a restaurant, I'm going to call it Ugly But Edible, because that's literally what all my food is. Alright, she's in the oven, and now we just bake for 15 to 20 minutes until the potatoes are browned. We all know how well the timing goes with my stove, so who knows how long it's going to take. I'm so excited. Yeehaw Bob is live. So as I'm making my Disney dinner, I'm being serenaded by Yeehaw Bob.
I saw a baseball bat. I laughed.
So it didn't actually brown, but that's okay. It still looks and smells amazing. I think I put too much meat in there, so there was too much liquid bubbling over for the potatoes to actually brown. And then the potato casserole, we'll have to see about this one. It's still like pretty liquidy. It's a weird consistency. Alright, so we are having a very Hobbit dinner on our tour of Epcot, because as Samwise Gamgee said, potatoes are the best. You bake them, mash them, and put them in a pie.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
This is like such a weird consistency. Like, I don't know if I can get past that part of it. This I already had a small bowl of. It is amazing. Little bland. I would probably add some like green and red pepper to it next time I make it, because this one's a keeper. I'll make it again. But I'll add some peppers, green and red peppers in with the onions, just to give it a little bit more different flavor. And now I'm going to try the potato casserole, see if I like it. So the potato casserole is from Garden Grill. I'm guessing it's like a breakfast food maybe, because there's so much egg in it, because there was 8 egg yolks, which is a lot. But here we go. It's really weird. You know, I was going to switch the thyme for something else because I'm not a big fan of thyme. And I should have, because I don't like it with thyme. I should have put like oregano or parsley or something in it instead. So for me, potato casserole, one and done. Cottage pie, winner, beef dinner.
Eventually.
For dessert, we're going to take a trip from Epcot over to Magic Kingdom, and we're gonna hit up Be Our Guest because I am making the gray stuff for dessert. Now, they serve it a couple different ways there. I'm making brownies to put it on, but the brownies are already in the oven. For the gray stuff, you start off with Oreo cookies and cream pudding mix, and you make it according to package directions. I don't trust doubling a pudding recipe with the milk and all, because sometimes you use a different amount of liquid when you double it. So I'm just making 2 separate bowls because, you know, what's another dish? All right, so you take your pudding mix, you add 2 cups of cold milk, and then it says beat for 2 minutes. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We get to make and assemble the gray stuff. So like I said, I doubled the recipe because I love the gray stuff. Now, this pudding is a lot of big chunks in it. I should have put this in the grinder along with the Oreo cookies.
Okay.
So because I doubled it, I did 2 containers of pudding. I did 1 8-ounce like snacks bag of mini Oreos that I put in my food processor and ground them all up. And then I have the second box of pudding here. And I probably could have made them both in the same bowl and been fine, but I'm a little weird about that. And then you just kind of mix it together. But again, the pudding mix has very big pieces of Oreo cookie in it. So you may, oh, I just broke my bowl, darn it. You may want to grind that up first. So now this is a very dark gray stuff right now, but we're not done. Because we're doubling it, we're putting 1 entire 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. Now again, I'm making a huge amount of it, but I love this, like, so much. This is the only dessert I ever got at Be Our Guest. Love it, love it, love it. So, back when we used to come to vacation, Lee and I used to eat every time at Be Our Guest. And the gray stuff used to come on this little crispy chocolate cookie. And they would pipe, I'm making quite a mess, the gray stuff on top. And it was like a, yeah, this is definitely not the correct consistency. I mean, maybe if I left it in the fridge for longer. But, let's see. Can we do it? Can we fancy it up a little more? Voila! It's definitely not the gray stuff. The gray stuff's delicious. You can even ask the dishes. This is edible. So, I think that pretty much goes along with my vibe when I cook. Ugly but edible. If you like these videos, please click that subscribe button, tap the like, and ring that notification bell so you always know when a new video is headed your way. Thank you so much for watching, and now we're on to the next adventure. Bye guys!